Hi everyone, I'm Stu.
And I'm Sarah. Welcome back to the 350 Bird Challenge.
In this video, we're in the Kingston area and we're going to do some birding starting at Wolfe Island. We'll tell you about some of the species we want to see after this. To get to Wolfe Island requires taking a ferry from the mainland, at this time of the year through a channel of broken ice. Wolfe Island, the largest of the 1,000 islands, sits at the entrance to the St. Lawrence River just off Kingston, Ontario. It spans about 124 square kilometres, with a small, close-knit community of around 1,400 residents. Originally inhabited by Indigenous peoples, it was later settled by Loyalists and named after General James Wolfe. Today, it's known for its sweeping rural landscapes, rich farming heritage, and of interest to us, it is designated as an IBA, an important birding area. The ferry schedule varies depending on the vessel being used and the time of year, but the crossing is free. Alright guys, as mentioned, we are at Wolfe Island. What kind of species do you think we'll hopefully be seeing today, Sarah?
Well, top of the list for hopefuls would be short-eared owls and also snowy owls, although we already have one for this year. We also expect to see some of the winter flocking birds, so things like snow buntings and hornlarks and maybe Lapland longspur.
There's also reports of a Eurasian tree sparrow hanging around at someone's house, so we'll have a look for that later too. And amongst that bird there'll be the usual kind of garden perching birds too. So this is going to be mostly a driving video, so let's get started and start taking a look around the island. Let's do some birding then. You disembark from the winter ferry on road 7051 to the east of Marysville, and there's not much walking at this time of the year, so we're going to be birding from the car. We began quite early, around 8:30 AM, before many roads had been ploughed, so we took it carefully. It can be easy to overdo things in these conditions, so if you visit in the winter, be careful. We decided to begin with a bird outside someone's residence. Okay guys, we've made a stop outside someone's house. They've given people permission to film from the roadside. There have been reports now for, I don't know, a few weeks, right Sarah, I think?
I think since the end of last year.
Yeah, of a Eurasian tree sparrow. It's going to be a pain in the butt because a Eurasian tree sparrow looks an awful lot like a house sparrow. I think the most telling feature is that it has a kind of black circle kind of where around on the cheek, and then maybe second to that, house sparrow has a grey coloured crown, and the Eurasian tree sparrow has more of a rufous coloured, reddish chestnut coloured crown. So it's a little bit of distance between us, but we can make out some feeders and other things. We're going to take a look. The sparrow was known to spend time foraging below these feeders, but just some goldfinch here at the moment. But it could also sometimes be seen feeding close to this large shrub, where currently there's an American tree sparrow. We concentrated on the shrub to begin with. This one is a house sparrow, and as mentioned, the tree sparrow looks similar. No cheek spot on this one though. We've been looking for quite a while now for this Eurasian tree sparrow. It's pretty frustrating because the birds are really flighty. There's feeders in a couple of different spots, but the birds keep disappearing into the brush. There's quite some dense foliage here, and anytime a blue jay comes past, or we had a hawk fly past at one point, I think it was a rough-legged, they disappear and they don't come out for a while. And the American tree sparrows are all over the place. Those ones seem to be bravest. They come out first, and then you'll see a house sparrow. There seems to be 2 or 3 male house sparrows that come out, but no Eurasian so far. After about 20 minutes of looking, we switched back to the original spot with the feeders, fending off the -10 degrees in our fingers. Lots of house finches singing away in this nearby tree. And more American tree sparrows on the large feeder, but still not our target bird. Sarah and I split up and watched the 2 different spots at the same time. Finally, I thought I saw it, but Sarah has to see it and she's not with me right now. Sarah? And she can't hear me. Sarah? She did finally make it over, and we did spot the Eurasian Tree Sparrow. Not very good views down in the snow, but you can see the circle on the cheek. These birds, like house sparrows, are old world sparrows that were introduced to North America. Amazingly, Eurasian tree sparrows in North America are all thought to be descended from just 12 released individuals that have spread their range. Not as successfully as its cousin, the house sparrow though, which, as you'll know, can be found almost everywhere. We spent the rest of the day driving around parts of the island that we thought would be promising for birds based on whatever information we could glean from the eBird reports of previous visitors and from chatting to other drivers that we passed. The day became overcast with the occasional snow flurry. We've had quite a good year for seeing snow bunting so far in 2025, and we ran into a few more today, but quite distant on this occasion. But unlike a small flock of horned larks, one of which came really close to us. I thought this one might climb into the back of the car, it got so close, looking to hitch a ride with us. We've already seen horned larks and snow buntings this year, so if you want to hear me talk more about those, check out our winter birds video. Well guys, we're about halfway through the day, and aside from some distant views of rough-legged hawk, there's not been much to talk about really. I think we're going to take a coffee break. We've been to Amherst Island in the past. Wolfe Island is a fair bit bigger than that, and thankfully there are a couple of options for coffee, so I think we're going to take up one of those options and have a bit of a break and come back, and hopefully things will get a little bit better in the afternoon. We had something to eat and got coffee in the main town of Marysville, but then it was time to move on and find some owls and hawks that I know that you've all been waiting for. Okay guys, coffee break over, welcome back. We're going to try and do some more birding and hope for some more luck in this second half of our Wolfe Island video. We looked out over the snowbound Lake Ontario towards an island where some coyotes traversed the ice. Sadly, one of them seemed to have an injured front left leg and it was limping. Not much that we could really do about it, unfortunately. They were probably about a mile away. Hopefully it's going to be okay. Further inland, we came across some startled deer darting between the fields. As we ourselves darted around the island, we saw some red-tailed hawks, like this pair here. And several times bald eagles flew overhead throughout the afternoon. The sun was beginning to drop in the sky a little, but things did start to pick up. We'd seen several very distant rough-legged hawks throughout the day, but too far away to really bother showing to you. But finally, we got a good look at this nice-looking one quite close up. It was beginning to get quite late now, and we still wanted to get our main target, short-eared owl. But mid to late afternoon is a good time to find them, so we began checking every fence post, every tree, and every utility pole. Okay, Sarah, what have we just seen?
We've seen short-eared owls.
Finally, we've been driving around all day, and especially into the afternoon when they become a little bit more active, we've been hoping for them. As you can see behind us and throughout this video, there's a lot of snow accumulation over the fields, but just behind us there's a little bit of kind of grassy crop or something behind us, and that's probably slightly better territory for them. And sure enough, there is one on the edge of the snow behind us, and we also saw another one flying. I think a different one, probably not the same one, but bit of an aerial battle going on. Anyway, let's cut to that footage and we'll show you that. Back to that short-eared on the post. Initially, there were actually 3 birds sharing different posts. The short-eared is in the centre, and it's flanked by a couple of northern harriers on either side. We watched these birds for a bit and witnessed that aerial battle that I mentioned earlier. we saw this short-eared owl in flight coming towards us carrying prey in its talons, but it's then forced to drop it when a rough-legged hawk buzzes it. Then a couple of rough-legged hawks have a brief tussle over the dropped prey before one finally lands on it, claiming it. Sorry, Shorty, it really is a bird-eat-bird world out there. As time pressed on, thankfully we did get some even better looks at short-eared owls. Actually, our best ever views. First up, this bird in the top of a tree at an intersection. Look at those beautiful golden eyes as they scan their surroundings, that mottled plumage, dark on the rear, lighter on the chest, to help provide cover for when these birds glide over the grassy or agricultural fields in search of prey. Time was really pushing on. We wanted to get the 5:30 PM ferry back to Kingston since the sun sets just before that time, and we didn't want to stick around in the dark. Sarah, what have you just seen?
A snowy owl.
I know I keep saying this, guys, but it is genuinely the way this video panned out. The last throw of the dice, we were about to head for the ferry, give up on seeing a snowy owl, and then Sarah saw it way out in the field on a rocky outcrop, just like home in the Arctic, the way they perched there too. Really pleased, we've seen pretty much everything we wanted to see today, apart from maybe Lapland Longspur. We have to head for the ferry soon, but we're going to take a look around, maybe see if we can get a bit more short-eared owl footage before we leave for the afternoon. Really distant, near the far edge of the field, about 1,300 feet away, a snowy owl. I got as close to the edge of the road as I could, and I added a teleconverter to my camera to give a little bit more zoom. Even with the added camera reach, a far-off view of an otherwise magical bird out in the open fields, a pale silhouette. Our second snowy of the year, and it's always a pleasure to see one of these winter visitors. We really needed to get the ferry now, with the sun beginning to set, but one more awesome short-eared owl as we were leaving. Short-eared owl up on the post. This bird cuts a striking figure. Round head, dark-lined eyes, streaked plumage. It has a look of permanent intensity about it. Like many winter visitors, their abundance relies upon prey availability. Last year, for example, we saw around 20 short-eared owls just in one field, but on this trip we've only seen 3 of them, but all of them a pleasure. See you later, Shorty. Okay guys, I think that's just about all we've got time for. The ferry is leaving very soon and we have to make a sharp exit to catch that in time. Don't really want to be here for another hour in the dark. Thank you for watching this video. Sarah, what do you think your highlight was?
We had really excellent looks at a short-eared owl, so we're gonna have to go with that one.
Yeah, right at the end of the video there, one last kind of look around the island, and there it was, perched nicely on a pole for us, so really happy about that. And we've seen almost everything that we came for today. The one thing we might have liked to have seen, Lapland Longspur, but that's okay, we saw pretty much everything else. Well, we didn't really have snow buntings and horned larks in mind because we've already seen them, but we got really good looks, especially at horned larks. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video, thank you for your support, but if you wouldn't mind also hitting the like button, that would give us even more help. It helps other people find the channel, and that means we can do bigger and better things the more people that watch. Also enjoy receiving your comments. Go ahead and leave us a comment, we like interacting with you. Last of all, Sarah,
if you haven't already, please subscribe, and after subscribing, select the bell for notifications when new videos are posted.
Once again, thanks for watching, we'll see you soon. We've got a dash. Happy birding, bye for now.
Bye.